I'm in East Corinth, Vermont, and this is my third time here to this little town. I was here about 10 years ago on my first visit doing filming locations for Beetlejuice, but all I had was a digital camera. So I did all the locations, but I just took basically pictures of all the locations. And while it was interesting to see, I definitely had planned on coming back one day when I could take video of all the locations. So last summer, I came out and shot all of the locations here in East Corinth in video, and all of it turned out really, really cool in my opinion, but there was one that just didn't quite seem the same. It was where the Maitland's house was. Now, I went to the location. After jumping through a few hoops, I was able to get access to the property, and I was on the location, and it was really cool to be up there, but there was just one thing missing: the house. But I'm happy to report the house is back. How cool is that? They have reconstructed the Beetlejuice house that the Maitlands lived in on the same exact location where the original movie set was built. Now, when Beetlejuice was filmed, they built the house right where you see this one, up on top of that same ridge, on the exact same place. But they tore it down after they were done filming. It was a spec house. It wasn't built to code for anybody to reside in. But I still went and found that location. So I literally stood right on that tract of land and showed where the house would be with some still shots, just inserted them. I even flew my drone around and showed some of the area, what it would look like from up on that perch. I came back out here today because I literally just found out about this yesterday. Now, I had heard that they were doing a Beetlejuice 2, but I honestly didn't pay any attention to it. I like the original a lot. I'm not big on sequels, and I just assumed it was going to be something that was shot on a studio all the way through. But I had realized that they were reconstructing the Beetlejuice house on top of this hill, and I couldn't believe it. So I literally finished filming what I was doing in central Vermont, and I jumped in the car and I drove up here to get some images of this. Now, as you can see, there's a lot going on here in East Corinth right now. They're getting everything ready for Beetlejuice 2, and they're recreating a lot of the little town here to make it look like it did during filming. In particular, this building right here, which was Maitland's Hardware. Now, when I was here last summer, this building was in shambles, and it actually is still like that for the most part. You can see back in here, that's the original structure. Pay attention to right up in here how there's a gap. Okay, this part here is where the roof ends for the original structure. They're putting a facade on the front of this to clean this up because it almost looked like a junkyard. Unfortunately, it just looked really poor. But what they're doing is they're building out the front of this here and giving it a new facade, and I think they're just going to blend it into the rest of the building. You can see the church that's over here. There was a gap that was over here during filming. They have since put a building over there. I don't know what that's going to be. But over here is the fire station right here. So they're reconstructing that. That actually was a garage. I'm sorry for the sound. There's a lot of construction going on here. But this was a real garage for this house, but they just put a decorative facade on the top of it to make it look like a larger building. This house appears in the movie, and you can see it looks very, very nice as it did during filming, and it's been retained that way. And then over here, they're reconstructing the bridge. I came over here to give you a little closer view of the covered bridge, and this is exactly what they did with the first one, where they built out the covered bridge portion to go over the bridge. There is indeed a road that goes over this little stream that flows right down here. Now, I just spoke with the resident, and he said that the plan that they had for the first one is the same plan that they have for this one, and that is when they're done filming, they're going to relocate this covered bridge portion. So they're going to take all this red and wood off of this bridge, and they're going to relocate it to a local ski lift. And that's exactly what they did with the last one. So that's really cool that they're going to repurpose this. I actually thought it would be cool to leave it, but he said because of liability issues, Warner Brothers is going to donate it. You know, they don't want to build it and then have something structurally happened where they could be liable for something. It made complete sense when he explained it that way. But this is a look at what it looks like during its construction. So they're coming down the home stretch with it. There's a side view. That side over there is all the way finished out. This side is going to be covered. And the Maitland's car in the first one, the first Beetlejuice, came right through here. So if you remember, when Adam and Barbara were driving along the road, they were coming this direction when they got into here. And that's where the dog was in the bridge, and they swerved, and the car was like teetering. And then it fell down into that water that you see and probably can hear down there. So this part is where the car came out. I don't know if that's what's going to happen in the second one. I don't know how it's going to be filmed. I don't know if it's a sequel. I don't know if it's just a redo. I don't know much about it, but this is what it looks like. Well, as you can see, they're also working on this building. This was Miss Shannon's school for girls. This is where Lydia would have ridden her bike. After she was done in class, she would have gotten on her bike and had ridden it down this drive right here. But they're clearly working on this building, so I'm assuming looks like they're power washing it right now, but I'm guessing that they'll be repainting this and doing some things to the exterior of this as well. But yeah, another thing that looks like basically everything that they used in filming for Beetlejuice the first time around is going to be done the second. So I thought I'd share something that was very interesting about the homeowner that lives in this house here. Last summer when I was here, she let me see a bunch of pictures from filming back when Beetlejuice was filmed here in the original 1980s version. And her mother had owned this house, and she had a bunch of pictures from production, from the actors in between takes, just the building of the sets, just a bunch of really interesting things, just like what you're seeing here right now. I just spoke with her a little while ago, and she remembered me from last year. And I said, you know, when I was here last summer, you didn't mention anything about any of this happening. How long ago did this stuff come to fruition as far as the movie for Beetlejuice 2? And she said, it was really interesting. She said she has an office in the front of this house right here. And she said right over here, there was a sign, a movie sign that had a picture of the covered bridge on there. And she said people would always stop and take pictures right there. In this particular case, two like black vehicles, like SUV type vehicles, had stopped. And when they got out, about 8 people got out, and one of them was Tim Burton. And she knew right away that something was brewing again. And that eventually she was contacted about you know, her garage being used in the movie again. But she said that was about 2.5 months ago. It's almost the end of June right now. She said that was about 2.5 months ago when Tim Burton literally got out right here of a car. He was probably looking, you know, around the area again. But that meeting took place here, and then shortly thereafter she was contacted about doing, you know, participating in the movie again. So as you can see, there's a lot going on here in East Corinth, all kinds of construction trying to get this ready for filming, which to the best of my knowledge will start in the middle of July, from what I was told. Now you can see basically a lot of the things that they're revamping here right from where I'm standing. This was a library. This is a library here in East Corinth. They put a facade around it during filming for the first Beetlejuice. It does not look like they're doing anything with it, or maybe it won't be featured. But everything that you see here, so you got the covered bridge, the fire station, the hardware store. I don't know what this building's going to be. And then the house up on top of the hill. All of these are just spec buildings. So when they're done filming, they'll be torn back down again. So it'll go back to the way East Corinth normally looks without any of this construction going on. But I thought it was really cool that they're back. If you enjoyed watching this video and would like to see the filming locations video I did for the 1988 version of Beetlejuice, I put the link for that video below in the descriptions of this video. Thanks again for watching.